What do you want to know about us? Welcome back to After Hour Happy Hour. We are your chaotic but cathartic co-hosts. I'm Jamila.
I'm Vicky.
I'm Sharon.
So a while back, we asked you guys to drop some questions for us, whether it's about us, about our podcast, or just questions in general. So we'll be answering them today.
So the first round of questions we have is about us. And the very first question is, are we 17?
We're all 23.
I'm 22. Wait, I want to know if that was a genuine question though, because do we act 17? I hope not.
I wouldn't doubt it. What's our zodiac signs?
We're all tigers.
Huh?
Wait, is that like not the zodiac sign?
Horoscope?
Oh, I was thinking of Chinese
She said
zodiac.
that was so much confidence. I was like, is she joking? Is she gonna laugh?
Wait, don't people say what's your horoscope?
No.
I am an Aquarius.
I'm a Taurus.
I'm a Virgo.
I think we all fit our signs to the T.
I don't believe in it that much, but I read some stuff, especially when it comes to compatibility. Like, am I compatible with X, Y, and Z?
Next question. Are you working? Yes, we are all working full time. So this podcast is our side fun hustle.
If you didn't watch our episodes on Vicky teaching Korea, what you doing?
That's my full-time job.
So I work in marketing in corporate.
Me too.
You guys make marketing sound so fun.
Marketing is fun. Next question.
Mine's not that bad.
Okay, marketing is actually fun. It just depends what company you work at and like what type of company you are looking for.
Next question. What's the biggest change you see when looking back at yourself from 2 years ago?
There's two things that came to the top of my head. One, my liver was probably healthier and I could probably drink more. And two, I was skinnier.
I hate it.
Here we are thinking about deep stuff, and then Jam's like, my liver and
Yeah.
my figure.
You know, physical changes. That's just the first thing that I thought about.
Thank you, Jamila.
Okay, how about you guys go?
2 years ago, I thought I was pretty mature. But looking back now, I was pretty immature. So, maturity. Don't get me wrong, I'm still immature.
My bank account looks better now.
I could go if you don't have any more.
You already went.
I actually have something serious now.
Go. Inspire me.
I'll piggyback off Sharon. Definitely maturity, but in terms of emotional maturity, I feel like I'm a lot more in touch with my own emotions now and understand and know the way I feel. And the second thing is clarity. Really, I thought 2 years ago, I knew exactly what I want to do career-wise. I want to go through the business path, climb the corporate ladder. But recently, that has changed a lot, and I've never been more clear on what my 5-year or 10-year goals are.
I'm going to piggyback off Jam and say clarity in what I want to do too. I figured it out after I graduated, not during college. Now I feel like I at least have a sense of direction on where I want to go.
Following up to this, where do you guys think you'll be in 10 years? So in 10 years, we'll be 33. Hopefully, I'll be married.
Same.
I take that back. Hopefully, I'll have a partner. That's how I'm lowering my standards there. Not a marriage, a partner.
I also would like to be ideally married at that age or
Yes.
partner. Also, I envision
Or have a kid.
no. We'll see. I don't think I've ever been someone where I'm like, in 5 or in exactly 5 or 10 years, I'll be here, because I know that the trajectory of life changes. So just doing something that I enjoy at that time, as simple as I'm going to keep it.
I would like to have lived in a couple of different states or countries by 32.
Idaho?
Yeah, you're going to move with me to Idaho?
No, I was just offering you a suggestion.
Preferably like
New York?
China, New York, Japan, anywhere but Idaho. Next question. What is your dream life goal? You guys are making me go into an existential crisis right now, okay, people? Where will I be in 2 years? How is I different? What's my 10-year goal? What's my dream goal in life?
You got this.
Okay. Okay, my actual dream life goal is probably have lived in a couple countries. Hopefully, either be a full-time content creator or like part-time content creator, but part-time is working with YouTubers or working with a YouTuber, but in this whole content creation space.
I realized my dream life goal like 2 days ago.
Did you have it in the shower?
It was in the bathroom. So on the toilet or in the shower. But it's literally just be happy. Like I actually think my dream life goal is to be happy, because as much as I'll be like, oh, I want to be doing this at the end of my life, I don't know if that's going to happen. As in, some things that I think I'll like, I don't like, or some things I don't like, I end up liking. So I feel like my dream life goal is just to be at a place where I'm happy with the things that I've done and the things that I'm doing and the people around me. So that's just the short and simple life mantra of mine now.
What is my dream life goal, Ben?
Get over your issues.
That's a great question. Honestly, if I could get over the fact that I have intimacy issues and all kind of issues with the significant other, that would be great. The other one that would probably be more likely, probably just to create stuff and see it in public.
Waiting for the day you create an album cover and we can see it on Spotify.
I followed Yugyeom's album, like the studio that designed his album, and I'm just like, that's literally the life goal right now.
It's going to happen. We're going to say it right now.
At all the people who might know someone that can connect me.
Maybe one day I'll come out with an album.
Next question.
Yeah.
Next question. Why is Jam so freaking obsessed with Mark Twan?
Why are you not?
What's so good about Mark Twan, Jam? Convince the people.
I don't need to convince the people. That's just more competition for me.
Nobody like Mark Twan, okay? Not a hot shot. It's for Jam only.
I already got 10 million other people to compete with. I don't need anyone else. Moving on.
New listener here. Why did Jenna move to Korea?
You tell us.
I can't tell if you're trying to say Jam or you just think I look like a Jen. Because neither of those were close to our names.
Jamila's gotten a lot of questionable names. Oh, wait. It's not even about Jamila. It's about Vicky. Never mind. It's about Vicky.
I'm in Korea and I'm Vicky. Hello. I moved here for my job, which is to teach English.
To kids who drive her crazy.
Next question. How did we meet?
So we have an episode, is our first episode after intro, that deep dives into how we met and first impressions. But in short, Vicky, do you want to explain it?
Jamila and I met because we were roommates.
And they were roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
I just literally emailed Jam out of nowhere because I found her profile and it was like, want to be roommates? And she agreed, and then she stuck with me for 4 years.
Jam and I met our first year through a business org we both joined together. And then third year, when we had to move off campus, we all decided to live with each other. And Vicky and I just, thank God, got along. And we both bonded over breakups. And then here we are now. Single! Yay! That's not what I was going for sure.
What's our favorite thing to do together?
Just hanging out.
The nights that we don't go out and we watch a movie or do dumb shit together in our apartment.
Or stay home and drink.
Do you remember during Valentine's Day, were we all single? I forgot.
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah, third year, we went to Rouse and then we came back with, was it a fifth? And then 6 bottles of wine because it was on sale.
Yeah.
And then we killed like half of it.
Yep. And we made chocolate covered strawberries. It was a great night.
Stella Rose
Yeah,
sponsor us. It's gonna be game over when we all reunite, you guys.
The world ain't ready for us. It might explode.
Next question. Pet peeves we have about each other.
I have one about Sharon. When she starts a sentence
Oh.
and then she doesn't finish it and she's like, never mind. It's like, what? Tell me. You can't just
I hate when people
say
do that to me
anything.
too.
Every time she does it now, we're like, Sharon, finish your thought.
I always do though, don't worry.
I don't think I have pet peeves about you guys.
We just love each other.
The next question is, who's going to be the first to get married and who's going to be the last to get married?
We've talked about this. It depends. If all of us were in a relationship,
Don't laugh like that. It makes it sound so sad when you giggle at the fact that we're going to be
It's fine, she's giggling at herself.
if that was the case, then I think I'll get married first.
Who would you say would be the last to get married if all of us were cuffed?
Fakey. It's just because you're very okay with not getting married. So unless a guy perhaps asks you to get married or think about it, I feel like you would put it off until he asks.
Can we make a deal right now that, well, one, for any guy that gets with me, do not surprise me with a proposal. Like, we need to have a conversation first. And then if he comes to you two before he asks me, make sure you tell me. Do the true beauty thing and call me and be like, Vicky, your boyfriend's about to propose or do something for you so that I can prepare myself.
But when all of us are not in a relationship, who would get married fastest?
Like right now with how we all are, does that change the answer?
Jam.
I would still say
Yeah, I
me.
still say Jam.
Mhm.
Only because I think I'll be the one getting into a relationship the earliest of you two if giving the chance.
See, we've had a discussion where Jam cannot be by herself anymore. She must need someone.
I think in our Dear Future Self episode, I was like, oh yeah, I'll be fine if I don't ever get married or if don't have a partner or whatever. Yeah, I could totally be fine with not getting married, but I would need a partner in life. You guys always say, I'm gonna die alone. No, I'm gonna die because I'm alone.
Jam gets lonely.
Jam would go insane. See, I can't imagine the day where Sharon and I are cuffed and Jam single.
That is about to be one of the saddest days of my life, and I had a plan C to this. If I, unfortunately, do not find a partner in life, but these two luckily do, I'm gonna adopt myself into their family and become the cool aunt to all their kids.
Nose goes.
This is not even an option here. Like, I'm just gonna invite myself over.
It's gonna be a divorced type of thing, Sharon, where you get her
Who
one
gets
week.
custody over Jamila?
Split custody here, okay? We take turns.
Okay. Welcome to the fam, Jam.
Damn.
But I also wouldn't be surprised if Vicky gets cuffed fastest of all of us. Not married, cuffed.
I shouldn't. I have too many issues.
You say that, and then the next boy just will be served to you on a silver platter once again.
I was gonna say it's because Vicky puts good out into the world, so she receives good. But throughout this podcast journey, I don't know about
that one.
Like, I don't know why we always use nice to describe Vicky.
Dude, see, I say that's like the biggest misconception people have of me is like, I'm not nice. I'm just patient.
You're nice. You just like everyone has thoughts, like inner thoughts, but Vicky it just comes out.
See, this podcast is both a very good representation of who I really am, but also not, because I'm most myself around you two, aka this podcast. But if someone were to meet me in real life, I'm not who this person is.
Next question: best memory that we've had with each other. I have individual. For Jam, it was the summer we lived together. And then for Vicky, probably the weekend where everybody was in Vegas except us. Is that yours too?
That's so funny because all we did that night was clean and then like do art stuff and eat Vallartas.
We went to Target, got Mexican food, bullet journaled, and cleaned. And it was great.
Jam's like, why?
My Vegas memory when they were cleaning was really good.
Yeah.
Well, I have a favorite collective memory of us three. It's this specific moment when you guys surprised me at Coachella. I don't think it was like, oh, meant to be like, oh, you guys surprised me, but when you guys did the surprise to me.
Oh, really? That's cute.
She cried.
But I have that video. It's like as soon as I saw the group, you just hear, ah! And then like hella shaking in my camera. And then when we finally see each other, all you hear is just screaming and everyone looking at us like, what?
I remember.
That was
Wow,
funny.
that was a great memory. What's my favorite memory of us? We've had multiple nights, but what I remember of it is like that one video where I was on the ground laughing.
That's my favorite video of Vicky ever. When you're on the floor and you're laughing and you're holding your ever so slowly melting mochi ice cream and a chunk of it is melting in your mouth and you're just laughing. And then you hear Jam's cackle. Oh, so funny. Honestly, shout out to me for recording literally everything, because if it wasn't for me, I don't think we'd have
don't
a lot
have
of those
anything
on
of each
hand.
other.
Yeah.
Next question. Have we fought and thought about breaking up? I didn't understand if this was about a relationship or about us.
I feel like it was about us.
I don't think we fought, at least in my head. I've never fought with either of you guys or even considered the idea of not
Yeah.
being friends.
Yeah, I don't think we ever fought, but maybe we've gone into like disagreements either like during the podcast in terms of what we want for something, but we never fought.
Yeah. All friendships, you get annoyed with each other at sometimes. That's inevitable and it happens.
Yeah. Sorry if you were hoping for something like a funny story or whatever.
Yeah, one time I fought Jamila and she cried, and then I cried, and then we hugged it out. We clipped our toenails and said we loved each other.
If you get that reference.
사랑한다.
Are we boring, guys?
What are some red flags when it comes to friendship?
When they know nothing about you, but you know too much about them.
When you don't feel comfortable, like truly comfortable being yourself.
You know what's a green flag? When it feels like you guys are basically dating.
When you laugh at the conversation so much people think you're texting a boyfriend.
Oh, you're just texting your best friend. When you don't have any pictures with each other. When Jam and I used to go to raves in college, people would be like, "Are you guys together?" And we'd be like, "No."
Really?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, literally all
We
the
got
time.
that so often.
So funny.
So that was a little segment about us and our friendship. So now we'll move on to some podcast questions that you guys had for us.
First question, what made you guys decide to create this podcast? There's also an extended version of this. It's our episode 0, our pilot episode introducing us, where we talk about why we started, our name, etc. So check that out if you haven't. But short answer, since like college or since we lived together for a year, I always said like, you guys were so funny and relatable. Like, let's do a podcast and just, it wasn't even for like, oh, let's get views. It was like, we literally just talk. So might as well document it and put it somewhere. And then during quarantine, Vicky actually like made it happen.
Put her foot ground.
On the ground.
Put my
Isn't that what I
foot
said?
ground. No. You said put my foot ground.
Telling you, my brain moves faster than my mouth.
That's facts. We always also just said like, you guys, it's not just us who thinks we're funny, right? Like other people have to think that we're funny, right? And so when we see comments like, you guys are relatable or like so funny, we're like, yes.
I think the best compliment we could get is you guys are so funny, because that's the one thing we always ask ourselves. Like, we are funny.
We're so
right?
funny.
Like,
Yeah.
You guys were so funny.
We are.
If people don't think we're funny,
You're missing out. I rewatch all of our stuff and every time it still gets me. Next question. Was there another name for our podcast after our happy hour was picked?
I contributed nothing to our name picking.
the only other name that I remember was Panchan, which is like side dish. Dude, that would have been so funny if we actually named it that, because every time we said Banchan, I would think of Bangchan.
Big Daddy Bangchan.
Hi.
After our happy hour came from Vicky in a shower thought.
I think the name kind of came quickly and we were like low maintenance about it. So we were like, yeah, let's go with it.
How to start podcasting?
Let's go by equipment first. A mic. We started with those lapel mics, but we realized that the quality itself just wasn't as good. So we upgraded to these mics instead. So I would just recommend starting off with one of these mics. I think this one was a 30 or 40.
We can link it.
The second thing is you need a audio recording application. And I know the common one is GarageBand because a lot of us have Macs. Third one is we initially started on Zoom, and you can use the Zoom recording one. And then we just want to upgrade to a more high quality production. So we just each film on our individual cameras. I just do it on my iPhone 12 and Sharon and Vicky does it on the cameras. And editing wise, if you're doing video version, I use Final Cut Pro, but we also just start with iMovie.
And we all basically have separate footages, separate audios, and then we sync all of them together in Final Cut Pro. I think the biggest tip is if you're serious about wanting to start one, just invest in a good mic. Don't even bother wasting your money on something that's not that great, because especially when it's a podcast, majority of people may listen to it. And I think more crisp audio just makes it 10 times better. So don't struggle like we did the first couple episodes.
When they say struggle like we did, they mean jam.
We all struggled.
Yeah, for everyone who listened to our first few episodes and dealt with my audio, I am also so very, very sorry.
It's okay. We learn and grow. We started from the bottom, now we're here.
Oh, and the last thing is we use Anchor to distribute our podcast, meaning we use Anchor, we upload it, and then it will distribute to Apple Podcasts, Spotify.
And then YouTube, we just uploaded through YouTube. But in terms of starting a podcast, we planned in advance, probably like 3 months. And so we had up till like 3 months worth of weekly footage or weekly episodes we wanted to have. So that way we were consistent with it from day one. Like we didn't want to take breaks.
From the get-go, you should focus on developing a structure or routine to how you film episodes, to how you edit episodes, and how you come up with topics and stuff. Because in the process, especially in the beginning, you are going to be scrapping some episodes. We scrapped a lot ourselves, especially in the beginning, trying to find our vibe, trying to find our style, and really laying down the foundation of what we want a podcast to be and stuff.
I think the hardest part is just like telling yourself to actually start and do things. Once you start and get the ball rolling, then you kind of develop a structure.
Honestly, I'm going to give a shout out to us now though, that like we set the bar high from the beginning. Like we didn't push things out just to push things out. We kind of scrapped a lot of stuff.
I guess it's a good time to talk about the hardest part then. Would you say hardest part is scrapping footage or like getting footage?
I feel the hardest part was for us to find our style. At least I remember in the beginning for me, I was like, we have to do the podcast like one take through. It has to be perfect and it has to be minimal editing, blah, blah. And it made us so stiff. And you could tell through that episode, we weren't enjoying it ourselves. That's when we had the pivot and we loosened up a lot and really found our style.
I think it also helped us though because we started from like bottom where only our friends would watch it. So for us, at the back of my mind, it wasn't like, oh, like a bunch of people are going to see it. It was literally just for us. So I think that helped us be more comfortable with it. And now it's like we're still just talking to each other. And it so happens that some other people watch it. Just treat it like you're speaking to your friends as you should be. Hardest thing, straight up, editing. It takes so much time and way longer than I ever expected it to be, which is why I always give credit to like content creators because editing takes up time, especially when your Mac can't handle having multiple tabs open. And editing and adding things, yeah, no.
Give a big shout out to Sharon and Jam because I don't edit anymore. I just make graphics and stuff. So I haven't edited any of our footage. I can't even imagine what they have to like go through and like cut out.
Okay, I mean, it works out because if you told me to do graphics, I would literally sit here, be stuck for 5 hours and not produce anything.
What about you, Vicky?
I would say the hardest part, maybe like coming up with topics sometimes. Do we have enough to talk about for certain topics to make a full episode? Or like if we come up with the topic and then we start talking about it and we're just like, oh, this isn't that interesting to us. And then we have to scrap it. Oh, also social media. Actually, I'll say social media overall. It's hard because all three of us are not big social media people. Like if you look at our personal accounts, we don't post, we don't do much. So having to be consistent on social media is work. What do people post every day? How do you have stuff to post every day? Like, how interesting is your life? Because there's three of us and nothing is coming out.
I mean, two of us are stuck at home. It's only you, Vicky, that could go out.
I know, Vicky should have the most content, but next question. How do you come up with topics and which topic did you enjoy the most?
At least in the beginning, we reflected on what we always talked about, what we enjoyed talking about, and we want to replicate that in a podcast. And then moving forward, we kind of looked at other podcasts, what they talked about, and basically put our own spin to it. And now we like to listen from you guys on what you guys want us to talk about because you guys are the listeners. So we're interested to hear from you guys.
I'm surprised we haven't struggled with topics as much as we have.
What's your favorite podcast though?
I have to say Dreams, only because of Vicky's parts.
Dude, I did not think that episode was gonna be all that great, but it turned out to be one of our funniest.
Yeah.
So I feel like one of the music sessions stood out to me, but at this point I don't recall which one. But I remember texting you guys like, oh, I felt like I was actually watching us three. I think it might have been Asian Love.
That episode was just funny for no reason, and I feel like that's a common theme with us. When we talk about love or anything like that, it just becomes a comical episode. Comedic episode.
That's kind of sad. Is that sad? That's not sad. That's funny.
Yeah, that's fine. Vicky?
I think mine is Dear Future Self, but more for like selfish reasons because it's kind of cool that like maybe in 10 years we could re-listen to that and then think, wow, is it actually true? Well, that's all that we have for podcasts. The next questions we have is about our taste in music or just music in general. So the first question is, what is one thing that you hate or love about K-pop fandom?
I mean, I love that K-pop fans unite because I follow a bunch of GOT7 fan pages and they have this community within themselves and they're very supportive of each other and they actually become friends.
I really like when they donate in the name of a K-pop idol because it's just like, oh, that's such a nice thing, but also for good cause. Like they fundraise money to donate to like charities or nonprofits or something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna include the idols too. I just like that it's almost very like friendly with idol and fan relationships versus when I used to stan like Western artists back in the day, I always felt a level of like disconnect in the aspect of, oh, they're celebrities. And even though idols are celebrities, their whole world just revolves around their fans and they show that. And so I just personally like that personal connection. Like because they're a group, there's different types of artists in the group, like vocalists, rappers, dancers. It's so diverse, which I personally really, really like.
I love it when they go on solo stuff. You know, for GOT7, there's so much solo stuff that I can't keep up, but their styles are very different. And I love how you get so many different tastes of music just from one group.
The thing that you hate most?
Toxic fans, honestly.
Dude, some people are so toxic. It's disgusting.
Fans who really invade like idols' personal space and also fans who bash on other groups. It's just sometimes people forget that idols are humans too. They put on smile all the time, but you don't know how they're feeling. Like you could give them 10 good comments, but they will just remember that one bad comment.
One thing that annoys me the most is when I see like airport clips of celebrities at like or idols at airports and literally a phone is like right next to their face and I'm just like, do you have to be that close? Like I get you're trying to get footage of them and that's cool and all, but nobody likes being at the airport and to be like having a camera in their face like that is so annoying.
And I feel like one of the worst parts about being a K-pop idol is you're trained to always be very kind, very nice. When fans overstep or, you know, people overstep the line, like such as the airport thing, they still have to be very kind about it.
I never understood that. Like, you can potentially be remembered to them as somebody who, like, got all up in their face or just disrespected their boundaries. And it's like, why? Same thing with, like, when people comment, like, so toxically to other people. And I'm like, this is the internet. Like, everyone sees this. And when, let's say someone has been a fan in the fandom, like, a lot longer, and they low-key degrade people who just joined or relatively new ones. And I'm like, I understand you've been loyal to them, but can you not put yourself on a pedestal and put other people down? It's not cute, you know?
People are like, you're bandwagoning because everybody loves them. And I'm just like, don't you want that for someone you love?
They're not your property, guys. Dude, I saw a TikTok of like someone explaining how some people are even afraid to have some sort of collaboration with BTS because some toxic armies will literally drag them or go out of their way to find personal things that have happened in the past or something to cancel them. And I'm like, holding someone accountable versus literally dragging them and canceling them is different. If you're toxic, get out. Just kidding. Second question, which K-pop idol do you think you can actually be friends with? Like, not your bias, but actually be friends with.
Mine is BM. Big Matthew. Big Daddy Matthew.
Is that what his name stands for?
Big Matthew, yeah.
Sorry. I hate you.
Mine is Jackson.
I could see that
I can
for
see that.
sure. Oh God, can you imagine being in the same room as a
That
Jamila
room?
Wang and a Jackson Wang? Oh my lord.
I think if we were going in a conversation, literally in the span of 5 minutes, it's gonna take 10 different directions because both of us is gonna want to say something about this topic, but it leads to the next topic, and we just get nothing out of the conversation at the end.
Yep. Crackhead energy times 1,000.
Need to liven up a party? Just put the wangs in a room.
Party of 3 over here.
I really want that to happen. I like really want to see it.
Same.
All of BTS. Just kidding. I'm gonna say Wooyoung from ATEEZ and Changbin from Stray Kids. I don't know if you guys know this, but they're like besties. And whenever they're together, it's just, well, they're individually crackheads. And I feel like they would just be so fun to hang out with.
콩콩콩 뛰게 만드는 알콩이 달콩입니다.
And I'm gonna say Felix too. I feel like he'll be like my little, he'll be like a big little relationship to me.
Oh, what would you do if you were a K-pop idol? Like, what roles would you be? Jamila would want to be vocals, but I think she should be a dancer.
Like, I'm gonna take out not the conventional statuses, but I feel like Jan would just be the party animal, like the energy to the group. Like, do you know Eric from The Boys?
Oh
Yeah,
my
like, that would be
god,
Jamila.
Eric from The Boys, yeah.
I strive to be like Eric or Jackson in terms of like being very confident and just being the mood maker.
I would say that and probably a dancer. Maybe a rapper. I take that back. Jan would be a rapper. She just has to train her mouth to move at the speed of her head. But once that's there and it matches up, game over, bro.
Where her brain and mouth syncs up, it's game
Yeah.
over. I could see Sharon as a singer, main vocalist. She would be the leader in a group.
I was
too.
thinking that too. I feel like sometimes she's like low-key leader of us 3.
Take care of my
She-
children. Vicky, probably vocalist, but I feel like you would want to be a rapper.
I see her as a rapper more.
I also see her as an independent maknae. You know how some maknaes are very maknae? Like you could tell they're the youngest, but then others are very, very independent and don't need to be babied. I feel like that would be a big key.
I'll take it.
Wow, did we just find ourselves a group? We have a leader, we have a rapper, we have a maknae, we have,
The mood maker?
yeah, we have everything.
Catch us debuting soon.
2022, baby! Next question. Do you have any good tips on how to become more confident?
Honestly, the day that you realize no one gives a fuck about you, game over. Like, I think that's everyone's biggest thing in life is just like, oh my gosh, like people are gonna judge me or people gonna like think about me when I do this or like whatever. It's not true. No one cares. Maybe they'll care for like 5 seconds that you like did something dumb, but then they'll forget it. And once you realize that like either one, no one cares or that you shouldn't care what other people think, game over.
You just have to remember at the end of the day, you don't like everybody you meet. So there's no way everybody that sees you will like you. So as soon as you stop trying to please everybody and accept that, you know, some people are just not going to vibe with you, then that's fine. Those people aren't meant to be in your life. So do things for you. So that was all our A's to the Q's that you asked on our Instagram. Thank you for asking us these questions and I hope we helped in some way and got to know us a little bit better. Make sure to subscribe and like all our stuff. And we will catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.